or now filming.
You're the director.
No, I'm not. You went to film school.
Yeah, that's a slight exaggeration of what my course was.
Hi guys.
Hi guys, it's Leanne. No, it's not.
Hey. Hi guys, it's Leanne.
They might not even know who I am.
I think they know who you are.
I don't think so. You've got lots of new subscribers.
Okay,
so
right, we'll introduce you then.
Alright.
Hi guys, it's Leanne, and we are here today, and by we I mean myself and the lovely Claire from the Book Fox, who I have talked about ad nauseum, but I have never actually managed to drag on the channel. Well, so she is here.
I'm here now.
She's duly dragged.
Yeah, and we're here to celebrate the general election results.
We're actually here today to celebrate Ruth Ware because this is The Lion Game, which is Ruth Ware's third book, and it comes out on the 15th of June.
Yep, the day after my birthday.
It was going to be Claire's birthday present, but I don't know, because we are such startlingly amazing Ruth Ware fans, we both got a copy to review.
I know. That was quite an exciting email. As soon as I got that email asking me, I don't know if you've ever heard of Ruth Ware, but you know, she's a best-selling author. She's written some psychological thrillers. Would you be interested in a copy of her new book? Wait, hold the phone. First things first, Leanne, you do not need to buy me this book for my birthday anymore.
Yes. And second thing, what do you mean, do you know who Ruth Ware is?
I know. We have both read her first book,
In a Dark, Dark Wood,
which we both very much enjoyed.
Yes, we did.
And we also read her second book, The Woman in Cabin 10. So what we thought we would do today is just give you our thoughts on
an
her
overview
books.
On our relationship with Ruth Ware.
Yeah,
that she doesn't know we have.
I know, Ruth Ware does not know who we are.
These boots are made for stalking.
Alright, so obviously the first book that Ruth Ware published, her debut novel, was In a Dark, Dark Wood. Leanne, could you do us the delightful pleasure of explaining what this is about?
No, because I can't remember anybody's name.
Oh, let's see if I can remember.
Okay.
One of them was called Claire. I remember that because that's obviously my name. Nora?
No.
Was it Nora?
Yes,
was
like Nora. Dark Dark Wood is about Claire and Nora, who are estranged best friends from school. And out of the blue, Nora receives one of those really horrible emails that makes your heart go, like, why are you contacting me after all these years? And it just happens to be an invitation to Claire's hen night, which just happens to be in the middle of freaking nowhere. Yeah,
and she is with a bunch of people. Some she knows, some she doesn't. And one of the things that really grabbed my attention... Oh, it's not on this copy. Okay, well, on my copy, it says something like, someone's getting married, someone's getting murdered.
Ah,
that's what I remember. That was
the,
when I first started... Well, I mean, apart from the fact that it's this stunning...
Yeah.
The colours here
fun.
are really, really nice and just intriguing. But then as well on the back where it says... like a weekend in a remote cottage, the perfect opportunity for Nora to reconnect with her best friend, to put the past behind her, but something goes wrong, very wrong. And I was like, what? Wrong. I just want to know what. So, how did you first hear about it?
From walking into my local bookstore and discovering it on the crime table, being probably one of the only ones that I hadn't already prodded and tested and decided whether I was going to take home.
It was around about the time that I was thinking about going on my book buying ban, because it was coming up to the end of 2015. Yes. And it's in like December, and I was thinking, right, I think for my New Year's resolution I'm going to do an entire year without buying books. And then
spoiler, it worked.
I know, I haven't bought a book since, which
so proud. Proud.
I don't know how.
It's never gonna happen.
I've been trying ever since 2012 to do that. Every other year I'll have that as my New Year's resolution, and it just wouldn't. I would always make exceptions, and then those exceptions, oh well, I've broken it now, and I may as well just buy all the books.
So, basically, you're describing my everyday book buying.
I know, now that I'm like cured,
yes,
I struggle to see people like Leanne not be good.
Throwing her money away on all of these shiny new releases.
I got invited to Penguin's Vlogger Christmas party,
Yes.
which was pretty awesome. I had a lot of fun there.
Yes.
And what was really cool was that they had tables just stacked high with books. There was only 6 copies as well. And I remember because the tables were there,
Swooped in.
well, sort of, because when, you know, that thing where if you're at a buffet and there's the table with all the food on it and you don't want to be the first one to go to the table to eat the food, I also was like, I don't want to be that person that I'll have to wait until other people start, you know, picking up books and putting their books in the bag. It did become like a swarm. Everyone just sort of descended on these.
I'm just imagining you like doing this ninja thing, like.
Yeah. I was definitely the first person to get my grubby
grab
little
it.
paws on one
Snatch.
of. Yeah. And then I think because we'd only just met.
Yeah, we had.
We only met in the November.
Yep.
And then I got
We
this.
were new friends.
Yeah. Then I either mentioned in a video or mentioned to you in person that I really wanted to read In a Dark Wood.
Yes.
And you saying, oh, I've got that.
Yes.
Let's buddy read
purchased
it.
this.
We decided that we were going to buddy read it. And we picked the day because we both have different schedules, and you know, I'd like to say that we're both incredibly busy people, but we're not. We're just incredibly lazy people.
Yes, we are.
We have to.
I love that we're at that stage in our friendship where we're comfortable enough to call each other lazy bitches, and it's totally fine.
Yeah. So we decided on a day that we were going to read it, and it was a day that I had absolutely nothing on, and I erroneously believed that Leanne had nothing on this day either. So I remember like messaging her in the morning and being like, okay, that's me just started, and I'll just keep you updated on where I am. And then it's like radio silence. And I'm like, okay, well, that's me just got to, I don't know, chapter 10, and I'm really enjoying it. What are your thoughts? Nothing. And then eventually it was just like, Leanne, I've fucking finished it.
I have a bad record with buddy reads, especially
Me too, to be honest.
Yeah, especially recently, like
And with me.
And with you. When I finally did pick this up, which wasn't that much later, really, was
No,
it?
it was. I do remember it was
Pretty-
very soon afterwards.
Yeah, because there were definitely moments where I would be like I'm on page 63 now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, wait till you get to page 70. Oh my god, I'm on page 70 now! How did that happen? So there were definitely moments in here which warranted discussion. Especially when it's something like this, where it's like, it's abandoned in the wilderness, and it's a little bit tropey in a few ways. There's definitely a few things in here where I'm like, meh.
Yeah, and that's something else I remember from when we buddy read this book together, was that we both had really similar experiences with it, because I would definitely say, and did you ever do a review? You didn't do one, did you?
I don't think I did. I think I just talked about it in a wrap up.
Yeah, because I did a full review, and you know, I said in that where I was like, I really enjoyed this book. You know, the fact that I probably, if my memory is correct, I read it in one sitting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did.
I think it was like
I remember the
day...
text messages like boom, 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 finished.
Done now. You just got to experience my reading
your
experience.
first reactions. Yeah.
And so I do think I read it in one sitting. So it gets a massive check. You know, big tick mark for keeping me glued to the pages. And I did really like just the setting, and I liked the story.
The atmosphere was top notch.
But oh my god, Nora.
That's really all. That's all I kind of want to say before somebody reads it. Like Nora.
She is an absolute dumbass.
She's one of those people who, if you were watching a horror movie with a cast of 10, you would immediately peg her and be like, well, she's gonna die.
I thought you were gonna say like, yeah, well, you know, she deserves to die.
Yeah. I wouldn't go that far, because I liked her. That's the thing.
I did like her. I did like her as well. But I did have a lot of like,
reservations.
You are an idiot. And maybe it was just because, and I've said this in, you know, one of my biggest criticisms for this book was that personally, I found the mystery to be so transparent. Yes. Like, I saw basically like what was going on.
Yes.
And the that thing that I'm hoping you're editing out.
Yes,
That we
I will
spoke
be.
about, the big spoiler. As soon as it happened, I was like, oh, well, I could see that was meant to be, you know, the clue that you would pick up on a reread, but I just went, oh, okay, well, now I know what happens.
Yes, that's quite interesting for me, is because that's one of the things that I always kind of say in my reviews of thrillers or mysteries, is that I am a person who does not want to join the dots. I am quite happy in all thrillers and mysteries and crime novels to live in blissful ignorance right up until the last page, because especially when she's playing on the tradition of Agatha Christie, there is a lot of tropes in there that if you do the brain work and start to add them up, you're like, ah, shit, now I have to sit through a third of the novel knowing exactly what happens and looking at you and going...
I think I do like doing the legwork. Yes. I do like trying to figure it out. And
loads of people do.
One of my biggest pet peeves with Agatha Christie is that I personally find that I can't do the legwork, because she withholds so much information from the reader, whereas, you know, things like the Ruth Ware books, well, this one, we will discuss Woman in Cabin 10 in a moment.
Yes.
But at least with this one, it was like, I felt like all the pieces were there, and I know that there are people who have read it who did not connect the pieces of the puzzle.
And I certainly didn't connect as many as you did, because as I say, like, I try not to. So I definitely didn't add up as many of the dots as you did.
Even though I did figure it out, I was still glued. Like, I still read it all the way to the end in one day, and, you know, finished it and was just like, that was jolly good fun.
Yes.
I gave it 3 stars because even though I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I would absolutely recommend it to people, I thought that the transparency of the mystery was a little too, you know, you're reading it for the mystery. Yeah. And there wasn't, you know, that sort of took, it just really sort of, and also Nora was just so unbelievably dumb.
I think I gave it 3, if I remember correctly, like, my memory of this one is much fonder, I think, than my initial, at the end of the reading experience was, because at the end of the reading experience I could still see all of the little things that I wish she hadn't done. Looking back on it now, I have a much fonder memory of this book, and I would be much more inclined to go back and reread.
Yeah, I would love to reread it. And I think, you get those books that you sort of finish, and you can, you know, as time goes on, you like it more and more, or, you know, as time goes on, you're like, you look back and go, why did I give that 4 stars?
Yes.
Like,
and those ones where you
I didn't enjoy it. Oh, yes. That was in a dark wood. I certainly would recommend it.
Yes, I would definitely recommend it, especially I think if you're starting out in the genre. Yeah. I think it's a very good transition for anybody who's interested in mysteries to go towards thrillers, and I think that's a good transition book.
The Ruth Ware books are the
our
ones
touchstone.
The ones that we agree
our
on.
Friendship books.
We love you, Ruth Ware.
Yeah, we do. And interestingly enough, so the next book that we're going to talk about is The Woman in Cabin 10, which is her second book.
That was last year, right?
Yes, that was last year. And funnily enough, when I went to, myself and Helen, my lovely wife Helen, as she's now becoming known on the channel, went to a Ben Aronovich signing last year, and I brought my whole set of Peter Grant books, and there's like 3 in paperback and the rest are all in hardback, and he's like, I like to know when I become a hardback author amongst my fans. And I'm like, yeah, so Ruth Ware, we're hardback fans now.
We're now hardback.
Yes,
yeah, which is a good sign, because at least for me, I don't like hardbacks. Yeah. I have a bit of a, I really don't like hardbacks. Yeah. So I actually can't remember how I heard about this book, but I have a feeling that it was through you.
Yeah.
Because you were in Waterstones at the time. Yeah. So I think it was you going, oh my god, did you hear Ruth Ware new book? And I was like, what? Time frame where I'm not buying any books. So I now have to try and figure out how I'm going to get my grubby little paws on a copy of this book.
Because it is so pretty. It's so very pretty.
I have to say, I do really like the UK covers. Yeah. Much better.
And I also like this naked hardback wraparound thing that they're doing, because they're doing that on all of her titles now, so I'm now very tempted to get in a Dark Wood in hardback,
Yeah.
and we all know that I only buy special editions of my favourite books.
Exactly. But what I think
So-
is quite a humorous little story about how I got my hands on a copy of this book was because Leanne and I were shopping. Well,
Yes,
Leanne was shopping.
I was shopping.
And I was accompanying Leanne because I do like to go and look around bookshops, and I do like to read the backs of books.
Yes.
And because I've got the library app, I will often, be there scanning the books to request any from the library.
Well, I
etc.
am gleefully parting with my money.
Yeah, you're there going, let it rain.
Yes.
And so we're there, and Leanne is like, right, so this book has been published, and Leanne is, holding on to it, and she wants to go and buy it. And then I have this brainwave where I'm like, Leanne buys a lot of books. I really want to read that book. So depending on how soon Leanne wants to read The Woman in Cabin 10, I could borrow Leanne's copy, read it really quickly and give it back to her, because she's got all these other books that, look that big pile of books that she's taken to the counter right now. So I floated this idea with Leanne, thinking that she'll probably be like, back off, get your own. But instead she was just like, yeah, here you go, have it. Like, just once you're finished, you can give it back to me. And then
I'm a very easygoing book friend.
Especially when, like, a couple of weeks later, she's like, oh yeah, I just bought another copy. You can keep that one.
Yeah, I was in the supermarket and I had an urge, and I was like, yeah, you're like giving this one back just in case she leaves with this one as well. We will support Ruth Ware, and you get a shiny book.
Yeah.
And everybody is happy.
But at that point, like, when you had bought your copy,
Yes.
I actually hadn't even read it yet.
Yes.
Because it was like, oh, that was quick.
Yeah.
You didn't even give me a chance to read it.
Yes.
And then it was like, okay, well, now we both have a copy. What do we do when we both have a copy of a book that we really want to read? So we decided that we were going to buddy read it because, we technically kind of buddy read In a Dark Wood, so let's buddy read the next one, The Woman in Cabin 10. Oh, we haven't actually discussed what this one's about yet.
No, we haven't. Would you like to do the synopsis for this one?
Yeah, because once again, when I read, how do you stop a killer when no one believes they exist? I don't know. I want to know. I have to read the book. Because that's how these books get me, is they ask questions like that, and I just go, right, I need to know. So, from memory, her name is Lo.
Yes.
Black something.
Blackstock.
Oh yeah.
Blacklock. I was close.
What, you said Blackstock?
Blackstock. I was, well.
No, that
okay.
you're closer.
I was close.
You were closer. So
I get that point.
yes, Lo Blacklock.
Yes.
And she is a travel writer. So we've got another writer as our main character.
Yes, which I like as a theme.
I do quite like.
I do. I'm enjoying
because
this.
if you think, Ruth Ware is a writer, so she's just writing about writers.
Yes.
But
I like
anyway,
this.
so she is a travel writer, and the kind of main travel writer for their magazine
Yes.
has to go on.
I think it's maternity
I
leave.
thought it might have been
Yeah, I
maternity
think
leave,
it's
but then I
maternity
wasn't
leave.
sure if it was because it was temporary.
Yeah.
And so then Lo gets to be their representative on the what was it
On
called?
the shiny Aurora?
Aurora, that's it. So this
The shiny cruise.
yeah, the cruise, not exactly a ship because
No.
there's not that
Yes,
many
the
cabins
cruise
in it.
boat.
Yeah, but it's this luxury liner
Yes.
that that she gets to be the person that basically does the I don't
Yeah,
know,
the
she
initial
she
review for
reports-
its maiden
yeah,
voyage.
yeah, so
Yeah.
she's really excited because this is the first really big thing that the magazine has trusted her with.
Yes.
And so she goes on this boat, I guess, this luxury boat.
Yes.
And she's in cabin 9.
Cabin 9.
And yeah, so on like the first night, yeah, so on the first night she's getting ready, and she goes and borrows the mascara.
Yeah.
From
yeah, in
the
her
woman.
panic, she realises she hasn't. In her panic of packing, she realises she hasn't packed a mascara and she looks like shit.
Yeah.
So she frantically goes next door.
Yeah.
To see if she can.
And there's the woman in cabin 10. And the woman in cabin 10 is like, sure, you can have my mascara. I don't need it back. Just keep it. Which Lo thinks is a bit weird. And to be honest, I think I would probably think it was a bit weird as well.
I would think it was weird to
borrow
loan somebody
yeah,
a mascara.
I thought the
Like,
same.
I was gonna be like, out of all of the things you could possibly have had her lose, why
I
a
know,
mascara?
a mascara. The one thing that like all sort of beauticians are like, don't borrow someone else's mascara.
Yeah, like, pink eye's a thing.
Yeah.
You could have gone with anything. She could have gone with blush or like lipstick or, you know, like foundation.
Just
Yeah, anything at all.
Anything.
But yeah,
Eyeliner,
was
even
great.
eyeliner,
Yeah,
you can get
I
away
would have.
with.
Yeah, I would have gone. Yeah, anything except for mascara. But it was mascara.
But anyway, so it was mascara.
Yes.
So not only was it weird that Lo wanted to borrow it, but Lo thought it was weird that the woman in cabin 10 was like, I don't care, just keep it.
Yes.
Now, Lo goes to the dinner and she gets a little bit drunk. Just a tiny bit drunk. So
just a wee bit smashed.
just a little bit. So she's back. She stumbled back to her cabin, and she's all drunk and ready for bed, and stumbling on a boat as well. So you've got the sway of the waves.
Oh, that made me feel so sick. Can I just say that?
So anyway, she's in her room now, and she hears some commotion next door. What do you think has been going on? Well,
something happened.
Yeah, well, she hears a scream, and she rushes out onto the deck just as she sees, or what she thinks she sees, is somebody being chucked overboard.
Yes.
So naturally,
Sploosh.
naturally, she is concerned.
Slightly alarmed by this person-shaped item sailing over the balcony.
And she sees all the blood as well.
Yeah,
there's,
that's
like,
right.
blood
She sees a smear of blood on the glass between their balconies.
So obviously she's like, right, I need to go and like tell somebody. Tells the security, and they drop the bombshell, but nobody's in cabin 10. And so they go and they search the room, and there's nothing there. There's no evidence. There's no evidence that anyone's been there.
Yes.
And you know, Lo's there clutching the mascara, going, "But I've got her mascara. She lent me her mascara."
DNA.
And they're all going, "But you were really drunk. You know, people saw you. You were really drunk."
That's one of the things that I loved about this novel as compared to In a Dark Dark Wood, is that even the side characters in this one felt very individual to me.
Yeah.
Whereas I think you, in A Dark Dark Wood, you felt like all the characters were fleshed out enough that you could identify with them. And yeah, I think they were. Like, I knew who was who and how everybody felt. But I never felt for anybody until I read this one. And when she's having the conversation with the security guard, I felt so sorry for him.
Yeah.
And I could feel his frustration, like, rolling off the page. Like,
Yeah.
you're a crazy lady.
Yeah. Want me to tell you, lady?
Yeah.
There's nobody missing. Like,
Yeah,
what am I searching
the
for?
tiny ship.
So,
Yes.
hud your waist.
There's a very Scottish term. Should I subtitle that?
Yeah, you'll have.
Hod your waist.
Hod your waist.
I will subtitle that, and then I will subtitle the subtitle.
I did prefer this
Yeah,
to
me
In
too.
a Dark Dark Wood.
Me too.
I personally, I mean, I do have, again, I've got my issues because
there's some
I know that
caveats to
you rated this 4 stars. I actually rated it 3 stars. So I rated it the same that I rated In a Dark Dark Wood, but I did
for different reasons.
Yeah, it still had to do with the mystery.
Yes.
And how absurd it was. I mean,
Whereas I
personally,
liked that.
while I thought In a Dark Dark Wood was super transparent and I knew what was going to happen, I found this mystery to be one of the most convoluted, ridiculous. I was actually reading it kind of like wiping the tears of laughter away because I was like, "Are you kidding, Ruth? Are you kidding?"
I actually loved the mystery. I loved how convoluted it was.
I loved the mystery.
Yes.
It was the conclusion that I was just like,
See, that's funny though, because I think, like, you didn't come to the conclusion previous, did you? You sort of, like, you got to the conclusion, you were like, oh, really?
yeah.
Whereas
I
I was
couldn't-
like,
I couldn't-
oh, I think I know! I think I know! I think I know!
This was one of those where my legwork did nothing.
Yeah.
I did not see any of it because, well, personally, I thought it was like, how am I supposed to guess that?
Yes. No, I have to admit, like, and I think this is one that's going to benefit from a reread as well, because when you go back through it, knowing what you know, you'll be like, crafty Ruth Ware. Just dropping that in there. And that's one of the reasons that I liked this, was because the clues and the red herrings got so much more subtle in this book, and I think you definitely see a progression from Dark Darkwood to this one.
Absolutely better for me. I much preferred this one to In a Dark Dark Wood. Oh no, I gave it 3.5 stars.
Oh yeah, that's not so bad.
Rounded down. And I read it, oh my god, it took me almost a month to read it.
Really? I didn't think that. I
think,
that
you know what
at
it
all.
must have been was I must have just been reading it in little bits, and
Yeah.
then I had that like sit down and read it.
Yeah, that burst at the end where you're like, right, I need to know right now. Yeah, because it definitely didn't
look what
feel...
I've read. Ruth Ware, easily one of my favourite writers. Heart.
See?
Oh my god. Can't decide which of her books I prefer, but both are equally enjoyable. Where Dark Dark was unbelievably simple, Cabin was laughably convoluted. But then I wrote, doesn't matter, I'll be first in line for her next book. So obviously Leanne read it. Obviously
Yes.
she really enjoyed it.
Eventually.
And obviously we're both still madly in love with Ruth Ware.
Yes, we are. If you're out there.
Ruth!
Much now. No. Can we just take a moment to say, so as we've said about In a Dark Dark Wood, it was beautiful, and it was one of these books that at the time that it came out, it started this sort of trend of the really big fluorescent font and the like sort of dark sulky background in the back, and I do love it. And then obviously Women in Cabin 10 came out, and we carried on the theme, and again we did the beautiful wraparound bubble cover. Yeah. However, when this came, I was like, oh, it's so nice, it's so pretty. But then, can we just though? But can we just though? Look! It's so pretty! I'm so pleased that they're actually putting real effort into these books, because I think sometimes, especially with thrillers, the book packaging can just be dodgy.
It's cheap.
Yeah, and with weird sort of photographs on the cover that sometimes have absolutely no relation to the story.
Yeah. So what I was going to say about The Lion Game is that I know virtually nothing about it.
Oh, okay. So you've gone into this one absolutely blind.
Not absolutely. I know that it's about 4 friends. Mm-hmm. And I know that someone's lying. 4 friends, 1 promise, but someone isn't telling the truth. Yeah. That's pretty much what I know. Yes. from the cover. So that's pretty much all I know. But I am one of those people that likes to go into books as blind as possible, especially the psychological thrillers, especially the ones that I'm highly anticipating. Yes. Because then I get to kind of experience it raw. Yes. I get to experience it kind of how the author wants you to experience it without, you know, the hype train starting and spoiling things by accident. I think that's actually what happened with me with Into the Water with Paula Hawkins. I had been spoiled, not spoiled for any of the plot, but spoiled for the sort of synopsis, and then I was like, oh right, so I know what it's about now, and then I became less excited to read it. Well, so I understand that. But Paula Hawkins is another example of an author where we both really enjoyed The Girl on the Train. Yes. And so, you know, naturally it was like, well, Paula Hawkins is writing a new book, Into the Water. So naturally we're both really excited and we both want to read it. Yes. And you got your grubby little paws on that. I unfortunately... Which still has my bookmark in it from where I've paused it and put it back on my phone. I'm going to put this down just really while we're talking about Into the Water, because I didn't get a copy of it. Yes. Because I'm not buying books, and my library inexplicably, even like now as far as I know, it's such a huge release. Library, for some reason, I live in Edinburgh, so they've got like the really good library, the one that's all connected to like all the other libraries. The really, really good library. Really good one. So you know, they have no excuses, but they didn't have it until eventually it kind of pops up, and I'm like, yes, they've got it. And then it was like, oh no, it's the audiobook. But where I was going with this was that I went into it completely blind, and so I knew nothing at all, nothing, nada, about this, about this story. And again, unsure if it's got something to do with the fact that I very rarely listen to audiobooks, or maybe possibly it just wasn't a very good audiobook. But I haven't listened to it yet, so it's possible. Never just didn't felt any interest in it. I have to admit, having started this one, and that's actually something, getting back to Ruth Ware, that's something that I'm eternally pleased about with Ruth Ware, is that there aren't hundreds of different points of view. Because in Girl on the Train, there was enough. I like multi-perspective novels. Yes, and there was enough,
And it was done in such a way that all three of the perspectives that were there were definitely perspectives that were necessary to understand the story.
They were needed.
However, in this one, Paula.
Oh dear Paula.
Paula, what have you done?
You could have done better.
She has, in the first... hold on, wait a minute. I've counted. So in the first 42 pages, I have counted 8 points.
There's over 10.
Wow.
You've still got some people to meet.
Dear. And well, I think that's the other scary thing about the hype train, is that there was so much expectation placed on Paula Hawkins to bring out a book that was as good as whatever that means.
Yeah.
Girl on the Train. And I can understand why people aren't having the same reaction to this, just based on the fact that it's not Girl on the Train. But having tried it, I can now genuinely say I'm confused, and I don't. My glee at having this and my sticky mitts has gone down. Whereas, again, getting back to Miss Ware. Actually, I don't know if she's with Miss Ware. That's very presumptuous of
Ms. Ware.
Miss Ware. I'm still excited.
I'm still excited.
And as far as I know, I'm gonna have a quick flick through. But as far as I know,
I think if it's going to be multi-perspective, it's just going to be the 4. That's my prediction. However, I have a feeling...
I don't think it is multi-perspective.
Yeah, I was going to say, going by the other 2 books, it's going to be one person talking about it.
I've noticed, like, there's a part 2 in here, but there's no headings to say people's names.
Janet!
So...
This is Janet's chapter.
Yes.
Now we're going on to Susan's chapter.
I have read the synopsis for this one, but it's kind of left me. It's gone. I don't know whether I want to read the synopsis again. Or whether I just want to...
I want to go into it, like, now. Something that I did hear, though, and I can't remember where I heard it, or if it was on BookTube, or if it was just from my, stalkings of Ruth Ware. Yes. But I did hear, like, somebody saying that this is quite different from the other 2.
From her other 2. That'll be interesting.
It does get me, like, ooh, what's she done? Like,
yeah, exactly.
How is it
What's she up to? Yeah.
Oh, Ruth, you crafty one, you. But, with In a Dark, Dark Wood and The Woman in Cabin 10, they're both, like, insular stories. Like, we've got the characters are, very, very kind of, Agatha Christie, and then there were none where they're all, like, trapped on the island.
Yes.
Yeah, with the In a Dark, Dark Wood, they're trapped, inverted commas, like, in this house in the middle of nowhere, and then you've got the Woman in Cabin 10, where they're trapped on the boat, they can't get off it, and the characters...
Can I just say, talking about Trapped in Cabin 10, that book gave me the worst claustrophobia I have ever felt. It was so good. She does atmosphere so well.
I randomly just really wanted to be on that boat.
But why though?
Because it just, like, the way that she was kind of describing the like how luxurious it was, and I don't know, there's something about...
Don't get me wrong, I have a thing about being on open water anyway. I'm actually a really strong swimmer, so I don't know what my issue is, but I have an issue about being on open water, and I don't like it anyway. But it wasn't so much that, it's the part I can't tell you later on, where there's some extremely claustrophobic moments.
Right.
And I was like, ah! So she does fabulous atmosphere, and I hope that
No, I at the moment, I'm not in any way worried about The Lion Game, to be completely honest.
Yes, I'm not worried about Ruth Ware. I think she's just going to get stronger as she goes.
Yeah. It'll be interesting, like, once we have properly buddy read this.
Actuals
this time we are actually going to buddy read this book.
Pinky promise.
There you go. You guys saw
it. She'll break it. I'm scared.
So, because we're going to actually buddy read this, it would be quite cool for us to do like a once we've read it. Let's discuss.
We felt.
Let's discuss our thoughts and feelings on The Lion Game.
Yes.
By Ruth Ware.
So if you would fancy that video, you can leave that in the comments below.
Give this video a thumbs up.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing
subscribe.
Just doing all my promotional stuff for me. Don't have to do anything. But in all seriousness, we would like to hear if you guys have read Ruth Ware and what you thought.
Because I do know that a lot of people have been put off because of the negative
the divisiveness
of the first one.
Yes, because I think it is one of those books where you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. It just so happened that it hit the right note with us.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like the books that we read on our channels, and I will of course link Claire's channel below.
Thanks.
If you like the books that we read, you're pretty much gonna like Ruth Ware.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be interested to know if our opinion has swayed you. Are you now going to pick up The Lion Game or The Women in Cabin 10? Are you?
And let us know if you do.
Yeah,
and let us know what your thoughts are. If you agree with us, if you disagree.
Yeah. Oh, if you disagree.
Definitely.
Let us know if you disagree.
Definitely.
We like a good debate.
Although, to be honest, it won't be a debate. I'll just be like, oh, right, okay, I liked it. That's one thing about opinions is it's great when you disagree, because we've disagreed on several.
We disagree on loads of books. We should probably do.
We should. Oh my goodness, we should do like the hilarious ones where it's like, oh, so I finally started reading 13 Reasons Why. Yay! I don't like it. Oh,
there was a few,
but there have also been plenty that we have agreed on.
Yes,
this one will hopefully we will. But I've got good feelings about this.
Me too. I have good feelings about Ruth Ware. Hi, Ruth.
Hi, Ruth. Love you.
Okay, we're definitely signing off now after that. Gonna get some sort of injunction against us.
As always, no, it's not as always, I'm never on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Bye. Yeah.
Can I get me some more lip balm?
Yeah.
She exists. I've got her mascara.
Wonder how many DNAs would find on my lip balms, because I'm just like, yeah, use it! It's fine. No, I'm only joking. It's just me and you on that one.